Welcome to Wednesday, November 23rd, 2022, your day weather podcast brought to you by Cowboy State Daily. For the most original Wyoming news information in the state, check out cowboystatedaily.com. Also brought to you by Chugwater Chili, the gourmet spice of Western life, a great Christmas gift idea. Check out their chili steak rub. Get 20% off by using Chugwater Don at checkout. Well, that Pacific front today and tonight is going to be the main event here over the next 24 hours. We're seeing some snow developing across portions of Idaho, far western Wyoming, and parts of western and southwestern Montana. This front is going to bring windy and colder weather, especially by late afternoon and evening, with some mountain snow, snow showers across the plains as we've been discussing over the last couple of days. Not a huge system, but enough. Just enough to make for some slick roads and mountain passes through early Thursday morning. So travelers, especially in Wyoming, the mountain areas in northern Colorado, parts of Montana, eastern Idaho, that's where the most action is going to be, especially over the mountains and the mountain passes. But sections of Interstate 80 and sections of Interstate 25 and I-90, just watch out for enough snow showers to make things slick. We'll have a break in the weather basically from midday Thanksgiving into Friday and into early Saturday. There won't be much going on, but we do have a small system that's going to come through over the weekend. So I'm expecting some mountain snow showers, especially in Montana and Wyoming, parts of Idaho, and northern Wasatch of Utah this weekend. We're just talking about a small system, but there will be some snow showers around. And then early next week, we see a push of some pretty cold Canadian air coming in, and a pretty good chance of snow is going to develop across the Intermountain West mountains and lower elevations, with that push of air that's coming in from the northwest right at the end of November into early December. Today's satellite photo shows the trough right here coming into the region. It's not terribly well put together, but as it gets to the south and east of the area later today, high pressure building up here will allow this system to become a little better organized and stronger. And here you can see it right there this morning, moving into southwestern Montana and northwestern areas of Wyoming. As we look at the precipitation possibilities, this is through 5 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day, Thursday. You can see the axis of moisture is right along and just on either side of the Continental Divide here. That's where most of the snow shower activity is going to be. This is that southern plain system that we showed you yesterday that could threaten parts of Texas and eastern New Mexico with some snow as we get ourselves into the end of the week and into the weekend. And there's your snow forecast. Again, this is through 5 p.m. on Thursday. We see this system potentially becoming a little bit more organized. So along Interstate 40, across New Mexico, I-25 as well, then into Texas. If you're going to be traveling down there, you may have some winter weather to contend with. And there's that low. Same low that's up here now is this guy here. As it goes south, it gets better organized and stronger by the early parts of the weekend. See this little wave right here? That's that little system that sneaks in Saturday and Saturday night, producing the mountain snow. So it's going to be an active pattern, but these are systems that are relatively small and quick moving. But they will again put a little more snow on those mountain slopes. Notice the high pressure ridge building up into the Gulf of Alaska. So what this does is it sets the stage for this low right here, and the cold air and moisture with it, to take a trip south and east by early next week. So this is through Sunday. What I wanted to show you here is for folks who are traveling across the nation. Most of what you're going to see right here is rain, most of it. Now along the northern edges, there's going to be a little bit of snow up into this area here, but this is all rain, thunderstorm activity, then that snow potential here, then obviously what we've got going on here. But this is through all of the Thanksgiving weekend. So you can see if you're going to be going through the airports in the south, the southeast, the Midwest, the northeast, not a big snowstorm, but a cold rain. But there will be some thunderstorm activity down along the Gulf Coast. And these thunderstorms could be as far west as Dallas into the areas here throughout the course of the weekend. So that's where you may have some airport delays. This is the forecast for Monday morning. Notice that trough that was up here earlier becomes a more potent system. A lot of cold air behind this one. And this is going to drive snow into the Pacific Northwest and into the northern and central Rockies by early next week. And look at the cold. This is by Tuesday afternoon. Another shot of some very cold air comes into the region, far below average temperatures by early next week with that system. So right at the end of November, early December, we turn cold again, and that precipitation is pretty good. You can see across the Pacific Northwest, maybe even getting into the Sierras, but even getting down into Arizona, the pretty good push of moisture, and cold air comes in early next week, and there's going to be a pretty good chance of snow coming in early next week with that system as well, along with those colder temperatures. Yesterday, we talked about these teleconnections, these ocean oscillations where we watch the pressure patterns across the globe that give us, in the winter season, some hints of how the long-range forecast will go. And a lot of the key ones we look at during the cold season, the Arctic Oscillation, the Eastern Pacific Oscillation, the North Atlantic Oscillation. We talked about the North Atlantic Oscillation, about the Tonga volcano discussion. And these circulations, these pressure patterns across the globe, really are good indications of how long-term trends are going to go during the cold season. And the Arctic Oscillation is forecasted to be in the negative territory. You can see these lines here all below that zero mark. The Arctic Oscillation is negative. That's a cold signal. Eastern Pacific Oscillation is going to go trending negative. That's a cold signal. The North Atlantic Oscillation is negative, and that's a cold signal. And the North Pacific, or the Pacific North American Oscillation, the PNA, also is going to go into a strongly negative phase here for a while as well. This all adds up to an active start to the month of December for the beginning of it. That is going to be a good news signal if you're a skier and you want to see the snowpack build, because that's the type of pattern that really gets the mountains and makes the plains colder and active as well. Have a happy and safe Thanksgiving, everyone.